It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.
And welcome into another episode of the EP Podcast. My name is Chris Lanuti. This episode and every episode of the EP Podcast brought to you by OSF Healthcare, Little Company of Mary Medical Center. OSF Healthcare is here for you in Evergreen Park. Your health, your happiness, and well-being are at the heart of everything they do. Count on them to provide the care, comfort, and support you need, focused on you every step of the way. Transforming healthcare. Your trusted partner for innovative, compassionate healthcare is OSF, Little Company of Mary Medical Center. This episode has two great guests on it. A local author that has been on the show before that has a brand new project out that centers around pizza parlors in Chicago. In the second half of this show, the first half guest is a village trustee that I've never had on the show before. This is the last one, finally crossing it off the list. I'm excited about it. And the first guest, always brought to you by Porter Cullen's 99th in Clifton Park. They have a Mother's Day brunch on Mother's Day. It's coming up May 10th. If you haven't gotten flowers yet, I mean, seriously, get to it. I mean, every flower shop is running low. There's like 4 or 5 area proms on the 9th. Right here in this area, like all the schools, my kid's school is having one. They're everywhere this weekend. All the flowers are being used up. It's massive pandemonium out there trying to get flowers. Instead of that, Mother's Day brunch. She'll like that. Seating's at 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 1 p.m. at Porter Cullen's. Adults, $45. Children, 4 to 12, $25. Under 4 is free. Moms are getting a complimentary mimosa. It is a full brunch buffet celebrating all of the wonderful moms at Porter Cullen's. Get your seating registered. Get yourself locked in now before they run out of space. It's going to be a big day. 708-907-5558. Porter Cullen's. You can learn more at portercullens.com. And away we go. Joining me for the first time on this show, and I got to say, I think it's more my fault than his. Village Trustee Jim McQuillan is sitting down here. How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you know what? Look, we've met before. We've hung out. I don't know if it's because Mark Marzullo's got such a big personality that he ends up sliding in here, or like, you know, when it's time to get somebody from the village, like.
Well, he does love the camera.
He does love the camera, and he does love the mic. Or I don't know if it's because, like, you know, Kelly Burke makes herself so available as a mayor, but somehow in the rotation I've never gotten you here, and I was like, man, I gotta learn a little bit more about this guy. So I'm glad you joined me. And I guess first question I gotta ask you is, yeah, how long have you been doing this? Because you've been a village trustee for a little while now, right?
I'm coming up on 25 years
Wow.
Village trustee. Tell you just a little bit about myself. I guess you can call me a lifer in Evergreen. I was born here, raised here, come from a family of 6. 3 of us transplanted in Evergreen from my brother to sisters and raised their kids there. I have 3 kids I raised in Evergreen, 2 boys and a girl, Danny, Jimmy, and Tara. And they now have bought an Evergreen and are raising their kids.
Oh, that's got to make you proud.
My 3 grandkids.
Yeah. That's got to make you proud that they decided to come back into Evergreen. I remember even, you know, Kelly Burke's predecessor, Jim Sexton, who had been on the show several times. I remember several times listening to him either talk on this show or give speeches in public, where he would say, we want your kids to come back and buy property here in Evergreen Park. That was important to him. It must have been important to you that the family said, I want to come back here.
They grew up here, and they had a good upbringing with the neighborhood. As we say, it's a village raises a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Or kid, I'm sorry. And they seen that, so now they're here raising their kids, which is great.
I remember when I chose to live in Evergreen, and like originally I grew up at 80th and Spalding, so I was in the city because my dad was a Chicago police officer, so you have to live in the city. And, you know, I'd go and have my adventures, run around doing radio all over the country, and I was getting married, and I was like, where do I want to raise a family? And there was just something about Evergreen Park that reminded me of the old school way that I grew up in the late 70s and in the 80s, right?
That's correct.
And that's what it felt like. And I've had friends who moved out into the deep suburbs, who came from the neighborhood that I came from, who would lament when I had little kids and their little kids were playing on my block here in Evergreen Park. It's just not the same. I should have bought in a place like this. And I would imagine that's one of the reasons why your kids came back.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, there's people or families that left here and they are now coming back. I've got many friends that left here and are now coming back and said, you guys have a gem here.
Yeah. I mean, what brings that about? What makes a village healthy enough and appealing enough that even though there might be something shiny and new and maybe even bigger someplace else, they sit there and say, no, I want to be here?
Well, I think it all starts from the top, and it starts now with our mayor and our clerk, okay? We call them a mayor and a clerk. I call them a CEO, a CFO, a COO. They have to wear so many hats of what they do, okay? And sometimes I guess they almost need a psychiatrist agree just to deal with all the different personalities that's thrown at them every day.
That's for sure.
Okay, but I mean, I've been in business myself for 47 years, so I understand. And what they have done, I've seen, is they've built a foundation. They're running a business here, and they built a foundation. Okay, and they're continually improving every avenue of this village, from our police, our fire, our street departments. Everything is getting better, okay? And I think people see that, okay? And they want to be around somewhere that's safe. We got great schools. They want to be around that. Okay, those are the things I think are the most important for a village. And really, number one, being safe. And we are a very safe community.
I feel that way. One of the things that I get that people send in to me, and this kind of rolls into what you just talked about, I've had several people over the last couple of weeks send me messages about, hey, I'm a little concerned about 95th Street. But I feel like they're always zeroing in on one section. You got 3 buildings out of 4 at the corner of 95th and Millard where the buildings are for sale. Classmate closed. And then you had the funeral home across the street, and then there's a building that the other building across the street from Most Holy Redeemer. It's basically Redeemer's there in the other 3 buildings, and I think people see that and they go, uh-oh. But is that the case for all of 95th? What's the deal? What's your take on that?
I think if you look at first of all, our retail or business area is probably under double digits as far as what has to be leased out.
So of the buildings that are available, you have less than 10, really.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We are definitely
the majority
less than
are
10.
kind of, yeah, okay.
And the parcels that are vacant right now, those are bigger parcels. So those are going to be a little rougher to get, a lease on. Now, one of them has parking, one of them doesn't. So, I mean, it's kind of you're going to need a special use for somebody in there that doesn't need a whole lot of parking. The old funeral home, that's going to be a building that's going to need some work, to bring it up to whatever, unless another funeral home goes in there. But other than that, it's going to have to be, have to be outfitted, and But like I had said earlier, they are building all our different divisions of the town, from your street department, keeping your street clean, your snow plowing. Our safety issue with the police. I mean, everything is top notch.
Is that what brings business in? Is that the idea behind it?
I believe that's a foundation.
Okay.
That's where it starts. Now, when somebody is interested possibly in those specific sites, there's always we can sit down and talk to them about different avenues of any kind of help we can help them out with, as far as getting in there. But let's get them there first.
You talk about the bigger buildings.
Well, I'm talking about,
bigger amounts of space, right.
And
it sounds like that's more difficult to find somebody in. Is that a new trend to find somebody to be able to take a bigger room?
It actually is, and I've kind of noticed it even with my business, because I do take care of office buildings and that. Since COVID, and since the economy kind of tightened up a little bit, businesses are finding out they don't need that much space anymore. I have office buildings that I take care of. I used to have 2 tenants on one floor. Now I have 5 and 6 because they're splitting it up into smaller parcels. And I think a lot of that is you still have people working from home.
Mm-hmm.
I had a company that had 50 girls just on phones all day. And this one building, they took the whole one side of the first floor. Now they have literally probably a 20 by 20.
Because they don't need the space.
You know, the girls are all working from home.
Yeah, they don't need the space. I understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think of, and you're talking about how you owned a business. What was it? What is it? Was it HVAC? I think you told me that before.
HVAC,
okay.
Yeah.
So you own your own business. I've noticed that several of the village trustees are business owners. I mean, is that an advantage when it comes to talking about bringing in other businesses? Because I find, as somebody who runs his own business, that sometimes I connect very well when I'm talking with other business owners because we speak the same language. Is there an advantage as a village to having so many small business owners on your village board?
I think it is, but I think we actually have a pretty good mix.
Okay.
Of the different trustees. We have 2 businessmen. We have a deacon.
He's in the business of saving souls.
We have a teacher and we have 2 professional people in the professional world.
Okay.
When there's issues or problems that we talk over, we're pretty well-rounded, all of us, to where we, sometimes we disagree on things, but at the end we get it figured out.
Why become a village trustee? I mean, I've asked this question of the other trustees, but I mean, this is the first time I've sat down with you. What inspired you to do it, and then why do you keep doing it? You've been doing it for so long.
Well, I think I know this village inside and out, growing up here, raising my kids here, and I just think I can totally improve it from day to day, And like I say, we work well with the mayor, the clerk, and all the departments, and I believe that's why I'm still here and hopefully continue.
Where does a Jim McQuillan hang out in Evergreen Park? Like, I mean, like, I'm always like I asked you. It was kind of funny. The last couple guests from the village on the EP podcast, and it started with the mayor because she was waiting for us to move into the Spoken Vine studios and they weren't quite ready yet. And it's coming soon, folks, I promise. And she was like, well, I still want to go to Spoken Vine. So then she sat there. So then your village clerk, Kelly Duffy, goes, well, I want to go and hang out at a place that I like to go there. So she goes, Mia Moore. I asked you, you're like, I'll come to the studio. So like, where's your spot? Where, are there things you enjoy doing? Are there events that the village has that are like your bread and butter you like to be at? Like what's your thing?
I like to kind of be, and I got to say, I haven't been in Spoken Vine yet.
Okay.
I've always kind of thought it was more of a wine, but.
Oh God, it's a full-on restaurant.
I had a little get-together 2 weeks ago, and my sister-in-law brought over a pizza from
the pinza. That's what they call it, a pinza. Yeah.
Out of this world.
Yeah.
So in fact, my wife even said we got to go in there and check this out. But you know what? With having the 3 kids in town, that's where we hang out.
You hang with the kids.
Well, the kids, the grandkids, backyard. I mean, when we go out, we try to go everywhere. We don't hang in one specific spot.
What have you thought of some of the events that they put together over the last couple of years? Now they have that the food trucks that come in.
That's great.
The food truck festival. It feels like the parade gets bigger each and every year.
It's
Oktoberfest, all that stuff.
We're getting younger in town.
Yeah.
And the young kids love that. I mean, all the ones that I talked, I mean, my kids' friends are here, and they just talk totally how great it is, And just amazing on a Thursday how they're just coming out like it's like a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. It's great to see.
It's important, I would think. Like I've noticed this now around the South Side at some of the villages, including Evergreen Park, have realized that you have to have gatherings. Like you can have a strong, set of restaurants, let's say, or entertainment type venues up and down your main street. But it's the festival, the gatherings, the things like that. Like Blue Island does something called Mayfest that I know is coming up here soon.
Bringing out the family and the
it's
kids.
Like a thing. Yeah, I mean, everybody's got little things that they do, but it feels like Evergreen's added some lately.
I mean, you think back I don't know how many years it is now when COVID hit, everything stopped. I mean, I think neighborhoods lost a lot of that word neighborhood in it, but it is coming back, and stuff like that brings it back. Those parties in the park and, all the other functions that we have.
As a trustee, you have these meetings, you sit down, you got people that come in, they have things that they ask about, they have wish lists. I want to say that a recent guest on this show from the Chamber of Commerce, Tom Elliott, kind of started rattling off a couple of businesses he'd like to see her in Evergreen Park. Do you have a wish list? Do you have things that you think about, like, wouldn't it be cool if this came here, or if this program we're doing improved, or something, it changed with one of your departments? Or is it more of looking at it, I don't know, as a whole, and saying we're kind of happy where we're at right now? What runs through your brain?
Kind of starting off when Mayor took over, she brought in quite a few new businesses on bigger parcels. We got where Gem Electric was now. We have a group of attorneys in there. That was a nice hit.
Yeah, and there's apartments, I want to say, that were above it that are being rented. Yeah, that worked out well.
And the building by the village there, it's a Casters company. That building was vacant for a long time. She had filled that. And there's other buildings that she cleaned up the corners, 91st and Kedzie. A lot being done there.
You took down that spot that's right next to where Spoken Vine is. I know you got to wait on the railroad to figure out.
Yes, and that was an eyesore.
All the rules is what you want to do, but it seems like you have a plan for that too.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. What I would like to see, I'll be honest with you, anytime I'm outside this village, if I'm out in Lamont or at restaurants out there, I'll ask them, would you be interested?
Oh, you recruit?
Oh, I try to.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. I love
why
that.
Not?
We'll talk afterwards. I've actually found a few of them that are looking for extra locations. We'll have to sit down and chat.
Just stuff like that. I would love to see I'm going to say a higher end restaurant.
Yeah.
But, who knows?
Okay. All right.
Who knows?
I'm digging it. Jim McQuillan is one of your village trustees. And what is it, twice a month you guys you have your meeting?
First and third Monday.
Folks come in. Are you quiet in the meetings? You ask a lot of questions? You sit back and wait and see what mood the deacon's in? Or how do you do it?
I sit back and wait. For the most part, things are covered, beforehand with, the mayor does her homework on all these different business apps and everything that happens. So we're pretty well prepared by her.
Awesome.
Of what's coming and going.
Awesome. Well, Jim, you're welcome back anytime, although I think the next time we'll be over at Spoken Vine, we'll have a pins together.
That would be great.
Sounds good.
Thank you for having me.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. It is now time for your EP podcast, Word on the Street, brought to you by Spoken Vine Wine Bar and Bottle Shop, northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie. The menu, insane. Just heard our last guest talk about he didn't even realize how good the food was till he tried it for the first time, and you got to try everything on that menu. The lunch menu now, they got amazing creations that are constantly being added to the lunch and the dinner menu. One of the best spots in Evergreen Park to go out and eat, and also meet friends, try some wines. They have so many of them, and they have those wine tasting events. See all of them and everything that is going on over at Spoken Vine at SpokenVineWines.com. There is a lot going on in this village coming up. This Saturday, there is an electronics and household hazardous waste drop-off here in the village from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Evergreen Park Senior Center, 9547 South Homan Avenue. The Village of Evergreen Park and Flood Brothers hosting this recycling for electronics and household hazardous waste. This drop-off event on Saturday is for residents of Evergreen Park only. You have to show your ID. It is a free event for you. Get it done if you have things that need to be dropped off. The second annual adult prom is coming up very, very quickly. In fact, it's coming up on Thursday night. Wow, did that sneak up on me. The Enchanted Forest at the second annual adult prom is going to be a big night. 5 to 8 p.m., Community Center, 3450 West 97th Street. Food, drinks, dancing, fun. $20 tickets for residents, $25 for non-residents. Register in advance at OCS or Village Hall, 9418 South Kedzie Avenue. And guess what else opens up this week? On Thursday, May 7th, the Evergreen Park Farmers Market is back. 88th and Kedzie kicks off at 8 a.m., goes until 1 in the afternoon. Throughout the month of May, experience all things spring. Come check out the vendors' spring plants and flowers. The market brought to you by the Office of Citizen Services. And then, after May is done, right away at the beginning of June, do not forget about the EP Community Garage Day, Garage Sale Days. They have a big village-wide garage sale. It is free. All you got to do is register for this. You don't have to go out and get the permits on these days, June 6th and June 7th. Hours of operation just have to fall between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Go to evergreenpark-ill.com. Register and get more information. That is your word on the street right here on the EP Podcast. We talk a lot on this show about local authors. At least once a month, we're sitting at Spoken Vine with Frank Murray, talking about what the library's doing, and then he'll talk about all the different authors in the area. We've had several of them on this show, one of them a regular. Zachary Jeffries is with me. You may know him as Z Jeffries. You changed the name depending on the age group. Do I remember that correctly?
Absolutely. I don't want a kid that falls in love with the sci-fi middle grade to get a gift card and get to pick something out, and then all of a sudden there's a fantastical book with magic and kissing and
right. And he's like a little kid, and he's like, "What is all this smooching going on?"
Yeah, and it's nothing inappropriate. It's more to do with their interests. I want kids to be able to find things that interest them, and I had been doing YA fantasy for quite a bit. I had a trilogy out. And a lot of people, a lot of grown-ups are reading a lot of YA fantasy. And then, as you know, as a dad of a kid, kids read beyond their age. You get into those teenage years in high school, and all of a sudden, the whole world opens up to them. They have a world of books. And so I extended Zachary Jeffries to my first venture. It's not spicy, it's not racy or anything, but it is an adult book.
Okay.
It has to do with grown-ups. Evil Eye and Pizza Pie under Zachary Jeffries, coming out later this month.
All right. And this, first of all, the name, like, explain this one to me, because I mean, I see something that, I mean, some of the imagery looks to me like you got maybe some evil, and then there's a pizza cutter on there and somebody hoisting a beer. Like, where do you get the idea of this setting?
Well, this is absolutely right what you know. I've had many jobs in Chicago and elsewhere, in kitchens, bartending, being a server, several kitchens in Chicago, pizza places that shall not be named.
But you've worked in pizza places.
Yeah, and there's just built-in drama.
Okay.
There's the dinner rush. There's interpersonal relationships. There's getting sucked into a completely different social life. And there was just so much there, ripe for the picking, so much drama, so much conflict, that when it came time to finding a setting for something magical, something different, something where there is wonder and whimsy and amazement just beneath the surface, it just made sense for me to be able to write in this setting where there's already just this rich world built in.
Well, I want to get into the book, and I know that you have a release, at the end of the month here on May 30th?
Yeah, May 30th it is.
Okay, so you got a big release going on at Bookies, right?
Yeah, this is my first time. This is my 10th novel, and this is going to be my first release event. Bookies has always been very generous, very good to me. It's a great company. They do a lot for their neighborhood, and they do a lot for the schools in the area and libraries in the area as well. And I'm very, very happy they're being generous enough to host on the 30th, Saturday the 30th, from 3 to 6. Stop on by, get a signature, let's talk about what you've been reading recently, and I'll have some slices from some local kitchens to sample as well.
That's awesome. Before we get into the content of the book and stuff like that, I did mention at the beginning that we talk a lot with the Evergreen Park Public Library. On the last show that we had Frank Murray on, he talked about events for local writers and what the library does in terms of trying to work with local writers. It seems like there's an awful lot of local writers here in Evergreen Park. I'm kind of astounded by the numbers because he was kind of giving them to me, some on air, and then we talked about a little bit off air. Is it strange to you? Is it odd to you? Is it exciting to you that there are so many people that live right here in the EP and exist in this little world here that are out there writing and putting out content and getting books published?
I mean, I've always said Evergreen Park is a book community. There's an absolutely wonderful library. There's another great library just next door over in Oak Lawn. I'm not super surprised that you have such an area of strong readers, great school system where people have and share a love of books. It's this fun little community. I know so many different people that write in the area. The library just hosted a local authors night, local authors fest, and we got to schmooze and I got to see all my buddies there. Maybe there's something in the water. I don't know what it is, but the kids love reading here. It comes from families who prioritize books and reading, and it's just a great community for readers and obviously writers.
So this, you said you've worked in some pizza places.
Yes.
All right. Do you use personal stories when you do this? Like, are there things in here that happened in real life that you slide into the book? Or do you do what I do sometimes? Like, I will talk on my shows, depending on what the show is. Sometimes I'll insert some things that happen in my life. Mm-hmm. Many times these stories are 100% true, especially when I talk about my dating life now. I mean, you can't make up the weirdities that happen while you're out there in this world. But sometimes I find that little extra. I find that, like, wouldn't it have been funny if this happened too as well? And I kind of will embellish from time to time to tell a really good story. What do you do as an author when you're doing this? Are these actual things that happened, or is there a little bit of embellishment as well?
Well, I'm always trying to serve the story, and this story is relationship based, and there is magic, but the problems are solved by people trusting each other and working together, and the sum of the parts are greater than the individuals. I did use a lot of things from my real life where they fit in. I try not to absolutely pigeonhole things or force something that happened. And funny enough, so many of the things that I wrote in there, little tidbits, someone getting hurt in the kitchen and continuing working, somebody setting off the fire sprinkler so then you can't reopen until someone from the health department and the fire department come in.
You've seen that happen before.
I've seen all of this.
Yeah.
And the comments from my editor are not believable. This wouldn't happen.
And you're like, why this happened? Yeah. I've seen this, yeah.
Are you telling me that this person offered free beers to these people who came in doing an official job for the city? And I'm like, well, yeah. It's been known to happen. But absolutely, yeah. I got tagged on it that this person wouldn't have burned their hand and kept working. And I'm like, I worked right next to the guy, and he burned his hand on a pizza oven, and it did not smell good for the rest of the shift. And
my gosh, yeah, the smell's got to linger on something like that.
It happens.
Wow. So is that one of the bigger horror stories or things that you've witnessed working in Chicago pizza places? Like, what would somebody who's never worked in a pizza spot, and like some places that serve pizza, you can actually walk in and kind of see the ovens. You can see them working, and some of them you cannot. So I kind of have a general idea, especially on a busy night, what it might look like back there. But what do you think that people don't realize when they're ordering their pie, or don't understand about what goes into it, or what's happening in that room? Because to me, I just think, well, they do the thing I saw in cartoons, and they make a little pizza, they put a little sauce on there, and they throw little toppings on, and the thing's out the door. Is there anything that I don't know about pizza places?
Well, I will say there's a certain kind of pizza oven that is very prevalent here. It's usually chest high, sometimes even higher, maybe a little lower. Some of the busier places have double deckers and triple deckers, and it has a tiny little door that opens up. And if you ever wonder which of the guys or gals in the kitchen are the ones that work the pizza, look at their forearms. And the people that have worked for a long time have their stripes. They earned their stripes. They got the tiger stripes.
They have burns from
You have burn marks that are straight across from reaching in, from trying to use your peel or your paddle to move, to rotate the pizzas around, and really, in the middle of a rush, you get pizzas, too deep in the oven, then you got to move the stuff around, and you're playing a game of operation there, where you touch the sides and you get buzzed a bit.
It's dangerous. Is what you're
absolutely.
telling me. Okay.
And you're there it'll take 6 months, and you'll get your tiger striped arms.
Really? That's insane to me. Because to me, I would sit there and say, well, then somebody's got to come up with a better tool to use so that people aren't burning themselves constantly on the oven. But you're telling me that's a normal thing.
It's an absolutely normal thing. I mean, and it's just a matter of space. They aren't going to put enormous ovens that have tons of arm room in there. The priority is the pizza. And so you get the paddles, they call them peels, the oars, and they get longer and longer, and you get that forearm strength. But yeah, you gotta reach in, you gotta move them around.
All right, so this book here, Evil Eye and Pizza Pie. So of course it's set in this world, but of course there's more than just making pizza. Give me a quick summary of what this book is about. Why should somebody try it out? Because I'll be honest with you. I always give your stuff that's for the YA group to my teens, your children's book to my youngest, okay? But I know myself, I'm like, well, I can kind of peruse it for a little bit, and I appreciate him coming in and coming on the show, but that one isn't for me. So this one sounds like this would be more for me, so why should I pick this one up?
Well, one thing that I like to introduce people to is it's just a secret haven for magical beings.
Pizza places?
But the front is just a normal North Side Chicago pizzeria.
Okay.
But little
you went
do you
north.
know,
Wait a minute, you went North Side?
I did go North Side.
You always write like this area when you do things. I thought
I have in the past.
Is this because you've worked in pizza places in this area and you're like, I don't want any of them to think it's about me?
I don't want anyone to think it's about a specific pizza place. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
No, because we have nothing but the best around here. So this place is a little suspect. It may seem like a normal pizza place, but all the bartenders are vampires. The bouncers at the door happen to be a shifter wolf pack. It's a bit of contention.
You address this. You address this in the book.
100.
Okay.
100%. The kitchen's full of the prep cooks are witches because they're good at the recipes and the spells and all of that. And you got monster hunters making up your pie every night. And this guy's just trying to run his pizzeria. He's trying to keep in the black and keep his found family of his staff safe. He doesn't want to cater to supernatural beings because that's not good for business. You don't want to get an ogre walking into the front door.
No, I can imagine that would chase out the non-ogres.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So he's just trying to run a legitimate business, and it proves difficult as all of these supernatural beings come in. This is book one.
I knew this was a series. That was my next question. Is this a series?
Of course.
Okay.
So this is book one, Evil Eye and Pizza Pie. We're calling the series nightly pizza specials. Every night they have a curse or spell that they have to lift. If they do not lift that spell, then the bar owner himself will absorb the curse and then he will become cursed. So he has 24 hours to do that. That's your nightly. It's a pizza place, so it's nightly pizza. And specials in this world are what they call supernatural beings, your vampires, your werewolves, your witches. There's a siren who's a server, and she might hum a little tune to get a little extra tip money here and there where she needs to. Everyone's working to their best of their supernatural abilities. This one was Kickstarted. Kickstarter is a great platform if you're looking for a place to find books. Everyone was very supportive. It funded in 2 hours, and we did about 500% of what our target was. We're going to launch the sequel on Kickstarter June, July. That one's not nailed down. Here's the name of the sequel. Mm-hmm. Shifters don't eat deep dish.
Interesting.
It's a fact, too. They don't. Werewolves, they can't stand it.
So what is the question that's rattling in my brain? You have come on the show before. You have series of books that you'll do. Mm-hmm. You'll do them at different levels. This is a new series, not a standalone book. Is there, in the back of your head, what is the goal? Is the goal just making a good series? Is the goal make a good series? Wouldn't this be awesome if it was picked up as a television show or a movie or became something bigger? Like I always feel like now with series of books, after you watch the Hunger Games series and you look at the Twilight series and all these things, like series. I mean, Harry Potter's, I guess, a series. I mean, like it's a very early version of the trend now with all these book series. In the back of your mind when you're writing, is it all the book, or do you think to yourself, how would this adapt? If somebody sat there and said, we need to make some content for Netflix or something like that, this pizza thing looks interesting.
I would say that the way I construct it is all the book. The reason why I like a series is you just have the breathing room to take your time and make a really, really big, interesting story. I will say that just from my interests and watching the number of movies that I have, I do believe that each one kind of has a feeling of a movie, of the getting sucked into the adventure. There's a call to action, and before you know it, things are getting worse and worse and worse, and things seem awful, and then boom, climax, and it's a bit of closure, and you feel good, and there's if not a happy ending, just an ending, a pop in the mouth. Man, this adventure is done with.
The book is Evil Eye and Pizza Pie, your big event at Bookies on the 30th of May. What time is that at?
That's going to be 3 to 6 on Saturday, the 30th of May. Go see Bookies. You don't have to wait until then. You can go to Bookies now and then come back on the 30th. Help them out.
Get the book. Go get a pizza. Wonder whether or not you got a vampire serving you. Order extra garlic. Thank you so much.
It's always a pleasure to be here, and it's wonderful that we have this in Evergreen Park. And make sure, if you're watching, make sure that you're subscribing and liking, and recommend it to your neighbors too, so that this is a great place to get information on the community.
This guy knows how to end a show. Excellent job.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.